Grab your Bible and a Diet Mountain Dew because it's time for the Brother Byron podcast. Listen in as Brother Byron brings you thought-provoking insights from his 30-plus years in the ministry. Now here's Brother Byron.
Hello, friends. This is Brother Byron with another Brother Byron podcast on Thursday, November the 28th, 2024. It's Thanksgiving. All right. I got up early this morning, excited about it. I woke up, I had the alarm set for 8 o'clock, and I woke up like at 5:30, and all I could think about was today, and I laid there and finally got wide awake. So I got up around 6 o'clock, and I made my way to the kitchen and got me a good cup of coffee. We drink a lot of coffee around here. We usually every day we fix a big pot of Folgers, and Mary and I both drink that until it's about gone. And we also have a single serve or single cup Keurig machine with a little, K-cups. And I've got a bunch of those. And so I started out with that this morning, drinking Donut Shop out of the K-cups. And then Mary got up around 7, I believe, and started on a pot of Folgers, and we drank that. But we like the coffee around here about as much as we like the Mountain Dew. Well, Mary don't drink Mountain Dew. I do. But we like the coffee. I don't know why I told you all that. It's not important, but just thought I'd share. But I am excited for Thanksgiving today. And if you watched yesterday's podcast, was my Thanksgiving Eve special, I called it. Well, today's my Thanksgiving Day special, if there's anything special about it. But Mary's been in the kitchen all day getting more food ready. She stood in there and peeled carrots for I don't know how long, probably 45 minutes. It took a long time, a whole bunch of carrots. We like them carrots. She fixes glazed carrots. And it's almost like sweet potatoes or something, candy. Over in France, they call them carottes vici. Is that how they speak in France? I don't know. But they also sprinkle fresh parsley on top of their glazed carrots over there in France. But I'm taking care of the ham. In fact, right after this podcast, and it's not going to be a long one, I've already promised Mary it won't be long, and I'm going to take care of that ham. And we got one of those pre-cooked glazed or spiral hams in the gold foil or red foil. I don't know the difference. I don't know why one's gold and one's red. One of them's more expensive. I'm sure we got the lesser expensive one, but we got one of them. I'm gonna put it in the big crock pot. We got one of them big crock pots. It'll hold a bunch, and so I'm gonna put that in the crock pot and get it up to 140 degrees, like they say. And I can't wait to tear off a big piece of that, put it on one of Mary's homemade rolls. That's right. She fixes homemade rolls from scratch, and them things melt in your mouth. So she's going to be, I'm sure, working on those. She's probably working on that right now because they have to rise and before she cooks them. So I'm getting hungry. I've got a lot of good Thanksgiving memories, and I'm going to talk just for a minute about that, and then I'm going to talk about something special about Thanksgiving. But anyway, so a lot of good Thanksgiving memories. When I was growing up, our family and my mother's whole family, all of her brothers and sisters that were still living in the state, we all went to Granny's house. Or it was Granny and Paul's house, while Paul was still living. He died in 1972. But after that, we just called it Granny's. And so we all went to Granny's house for Thanksgiving, and everybody had their own dishes that they brought that they were known for. Aunt June brought the Milky Way cake, and Mom brought her dressing, but Granny fixed oyster dressing for my Uncle Onlo. He liked it. But each person brought their own dishes, and we all got together at Granny's. It wasn't a large house, but we packed ourselves in there, all them Spencers and us Chesneys. We all got in there, and the Perkies. But anyway, we all got in there together and eat and had a good time of it. And one of the things I remember the most is on our way to Granny's, and her house was like 5 miles from where we lived, where I grew up. And my sisters and we would sit in the back seat of the car on the drive over there, and we would sing. And here's what we would sing, and it's to the tune of When We All Get to Heaven. But we kind of changed the words a little bit, and this is how it goes. When we all get to Granny's, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Granny, we'll sing and shout the victory. When the turkey's laid before us and the gravy's on display, we will all join together. Uncle Ronnie will say grace when we all get to Granny's. Anyway, that's how it went. We sung that the entire way to Granny's house. I don't know how long it took us to get there. I'm sure when we started singing, Dad probably floored that old Dodge Coronet and got us there as quick as he could. But that's one of my greatest memories as a child. Now my mom, she was an LPN, and she worked at Hillcrest Nursing Home, and she prepared Thanksgiving food for her patients. And Mom and Dad would load all that food up in the car and take it to them and feed them. One year, she brought some of the patients home, and they had Thanksgiving with us. One lady in particular, she always talked about and always fixed for. Her name was Joyce, and Mom loved that lady, and I know that lady loved my mom too. And she brought her, and we had a great time that year with patients, in wheelchairs around in the living room. That was a lot of fun. After Granny died, and she died in 93, and after she died, our family, the Chesneys, we started having Thanksgiving at Mom and Dad's house here in Corryton on Maloneville Road. And we would, of course, eat to our heart's content. And after we'd eat, usually Pam and Mike would get the sale papers out of the newspaper, and they'd go through all the ums and decide where they're going to go shopping the next day. Back then, nothing opened on Thanksgiving, and so they waited till the next day. But they had all those sale papers. They really loved that. And I told you in yesterday's podcast, I hate all that stuff about Black Friday, but she liked it, and I went one time with her, and we got sick that day. But anyway, I don't like the Black Friday stuff. But Pam died in 2002, and after that, things were not as good on Thanksgiving there. But I remember when Pam was living, after the sale papers and all that, Mike usually would sit on the couch and snooze, and but we would all gather around the piano, and we would sing out of that Redback church hymnal, and we would sing and sing and sing and sing. And there's nothing I like better than that. And we were there usually, most of the day, and then we'd, come home later at night, and Mary and I would come home, and the kids. But like I said, after Pam died, things weren't quite the same. And then after Dad died in 2016, and Mary and I started having Thanksgiving at our house here. So, we still have a great time. Like I talked about yesterday, all the kids coming around and such. Of course, Mom passed away there last year. And so, a lot of things have changed. But one thing's not changed is God's rich blessings upon us. I mean, He has blessed us more than, or I can personally say more than I deserve, but He has really blessed us. So this is the last thing I want to talk about. And perhaps you've heard of this person, and perhaps you have not. If you have not, then let me enlighten you. This man, his name was Johnson Oatman Jr. That's a pretty cool name. He almost sounds like a NASCAR driver, doesn't he? He was born in 1856. He was a Methodist preacher. He's born in New Jersey, of all places, Jersey. I've not met many people from New Jersey that I've gotten along with very well. But hey, there's probably some good people there. This guy obviously was, but Lumberton, New Jersey. Johnson Oatman Jr. And he was a Methodist preacher, actually. And his dad was a really good singer, but he wanted to sing, but was not very good. And at around 36 years old, he wanted to do something for the Lord so much, and in the music realm of it, and discovered that he was a very good songwriter. So turns out he has written over 5,000 hymns. And I'm not just talking about hymns you never heard of. I mean, some that very popular. The hymn "No Not One" in the church hymn, one of my very favorite. I love that song. Um, anyway, but there was one song in particular that Johnson Oatman Jr. wrote that become more famous than any other song. And if you don't know what that song was or is, it's also in our church hymnal. And it's called "Count Your Blessings." Count your blessings. And so I just want to kind of end this podcast. I'm going to read you the lyrics of "Count Your Blessings," and see if you enjoy it as much as I do. But it goes, "When upon life's billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged, thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord hath done." In the chorus, of course, "Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God hath done." And then the next verse is, "Are you ever burdened with a load of care? Does the cross seem heavy you are called to bear? Count your many blessings, every doubt will fly, and you will be singing as the days go by." And it repeats the chorus. Third verse, "When you look at others with their lands and gold, think that Christ has promised you his wealth untold. Count your many blessings, money cannot buy your reward in heaven, nor your home on high." Repeat the chorus. And in the fourth and last verse goes, "So amid the conflict, whether great or small, do not be discouraged. God is over all. Count your many blessings. Angels will attend. Help and comfort give you to your journey's end. Then count your blessings. Name them one by one. Count your blessings. See what God has done. Count your blessings. Name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God hath done." I've led that song a lot at church, and that's usually what I end up doing, naming them one by one. And I don't have enough fingers and toes to count them all. I'd be like old Jethro having to stomp and I can't remember what it was he used to say is gazentas. But anyway, God has blessed us richly, and we need to remember that. Count our blessings. It's just amazing what God has done. So I'm going to end this podcast, and I truly hope that you have a blessed Thanksgiving, and appreciate you taking time out to listen to old Brother Byron. And, let's count our blessings every day. Be thankful for what God has done. Not only what he has done, but what he's doing right now and what he's going to do in the future, and all the promises that God has made us that he will do. And let's thank him for all those things. All right. All right. Well, this is old Brother Byron, and I am out.